Kanban began as a visual scheduling technique inside Toyota's production system. Several decades later, in 2007, David Anderson expanded on the Kanban methods concept and invented the Kanban board. Indeed, Darren Davis, who was Anderson's co-worker, was the one who recommended that the procedure be shown on a whiteboard. This is how the Kanban board as we know it today was created to become one of the most effective Agile project management tools for knowledge work. Kanban boards are often referred to as Agile task boards due to the extensive use of this technique by Agile teams. So, in this video, we are going to understand the key elements of the Kanban board. Before we get started, I would like to address the agenda for today's session. We will start our session with a brief introduction to Kanban and understand what is a Kanban board. Next, we will talk about elements of the Kanban board and types and examples of the Kanban board. Moving on, we will understand the benefits of the Kanban board and how to use the Kanban board. Finally, we will conclude the session by talking about the major differences between Scrum and Kanban. I hope the agenda was clear. Before we start with our session, if you like this video, do subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, to learn more about Agile project management and its practices, check out Invensis Learning's Agile Project Management Certification Training on Certified Scrum Product Owner, Professional Scrum Product Owner, Professional Scrum Master, and Agile Scrum Master. All of the necessary information is given in the description box. Without any further ado, let's get started with the first topic, Introduction to Kanban. Kanban is a well-known lean workflow management strategy for establishing, controlling, and enhancing knowledge delivery services. It lets you visualize work, enhance productivity, and develop continually. Kanban boards enable you to improve job delivery across many teams and manage even the most complicated projects in a single environment. Originating in manufacturing, Agile software development teams subsequently claimed it as their own. Recently, it began being acknowledged by corporate units across many sectors. Since the 1950s, the Japanese term Kanban, which means visual board or sign, has been used to define a process. Toyota first designed and used it as a scheduling system for just-in-time production. In contrast, the capitalized name Kanban is connected with the 2007 introduction of the Kanban method. The primary objective is to increase customer value without increasing expenses. Next, let us move on to our main topic for today and see. What is Kanban board? A Kanban board is an Agile project management tool meant to help in the visualization of work, limit the work in progress, and maximize productivity. It may assist Agile and DevOps teams in establishing daily orders. Kanban boards are designed using cards, columns, and constant development. In simple words, the Kanban board is a workflow visualization tool meant to help you clarify your work process and increase productivity by minimizing work in progress. With this increased degree of transparency, you will rapidly detect problematic work phases, and by addressing them, your team will soon be more productive. The Kanban board is an essential component of the Kanban technique and a mapping and visualization tool for your workflow. Kanban boards help visualize bottlenecks and process inefficiencies. Next, focus on the job at hand. Next, eliminate the need for routine status meetings. Moving on to our next topic. Elements of a Kanban board. David Anderson demonstrated that Kanban boards consist of 5 elements. Visual signals, columns, work in progress limitations, a commitment point, and a delivery point. Let us talk about these elements one by one in detail. Visual signals. The visual cards are one of the first things you'll notice about a Kanban board, like stickies, tickets, or otherwise. Teams using Kanban document all of their projects and work items on cards, often one per card. Each card for Agile teams might represent a user story. Once shown on the whiteboard, these visual elements assist colleagues and stakeholders in easily understanding what the team is currently working on. Second, columns. The columns are another unique characteristic of the Kanban board. Each column represents a distinct action that, when combined, constitutes a workflow. Cards go through the workflow until they are completed. Workflows might be as basic as to do, in progress, and complete, or they can be much more complicated. Next, work in progress or WIP limits. WIP limitations represent the maximum amount of cards that may exist in a column at any one point. There cannot be more than 3 cards in a column with a WIP limit of 3. When the column is full, the team must swarm these cards and move them along before new cards can enter that stage of the process. These WIP restrictions are crucial for identifying process bottlenecks and optimizing flow. Work in progress restrictions serve as an early warning indicator when you have committed too much work. Next is the commitment point. Kanban teams often have a backlog on their boards. This is where customers and coworkers submit project ideas for the team to consider when they are ready. The commitment point occurs when a team accepts a concept and begins to work on the project. Next is the delivery point. The delivery point is the end of the workflow for a Kanban team. For the majority of teams, delivery occurs when the product or service is in the customer's hands. The team's goal is to transport cards as quickly as possible from the commitment point to the delivery site. The period between two events is referred to as lead time. Continuous efforts are made by Kanban teams to reduce their lead time as much as possible. Moving on to our next topic. Types and examples of Kanban boards. Kanban is adaptable to several environments, including manufacturing, human resources, agile software development, and DevOps software development. The kind of environment in which Kanban is used frequently determines whether the board is physical or digital. Talking about physical boards. Using sticky notes indicating tasks and a whiteboard, a physical Kanban board is the most basic kind of Kanban board. The stages of a project are represented as columns, and comment notes are transferred from one step to the next. Simple Kanban boards consist of physical boards with vertical columns. Sticky notes are placed on a whiteboard or blackboard after teams have marked them up. The progress is shown by these sticky notes as they move through the procedure. A physical board has the benefit of being always on. You cannot open a new tab on the large movable whiteboard at your desk. It is easy to set up, easy to demonstrate to others, and is often the best approach to interact with particular teams. However, physical boards are not suitable for distributed teams. Next, digital boards. As software and engineering teams adopted the Kanban approach, Kanban boards experienced a digital revolution. Teams who do not share a physical office space may utilize Kanban boards remotely and asynchronously using digital boards. A few clicks are required to build digital lists that reflect the steps of your Kanban process on a board view that your whole team can control. For instance, you might construct lists like backlog, next, in progress, and done. Each job is represented by a card that is moved across the lists as it is queued, worked on, and finished. The benefits of a digital Kanban board are the speed with which it can be put up, the simplicity with which it can be shared with others, and the capacity to monitor an unlimited number of discussions and comments asynchronously as the project advances. No matter where or when team members check in on the Kanban board, they will always see the most current project status. Some digital Kanban boards are straightforward, while others are robust and configurable. Teams requiring extra capabilities such as WIP limits and control charts should use a more robust solution such as Jira software. Jira has an out-of-the-box Kanban project template that makes setting up a Kanban team simple. The team may get right into the project and then personalize their workflow and board, set WIP limits, establish swim lanes, and even activate a backlog if they need a more efficient method of prioritization. Now, moving on to our next topic. What are the benefits of Kanban boards? As you apply Kanban, you will be able to start small and gradually establish sustainable, long-term changes in your processes, allowing, among other advantages, a higher level of productivity, reduced stress, and improved quality. Some of the benefits of Kanban boards are: flexibility. Utilizing Kanban boards for every project provides each team member with the necessary freedom to perform their allocated tasks. The board's visual aspect allows everyone to see what must be completed and when. Next, reduce downtime. As a result of the enhanced workflow brought about by the usage of Kanban boards, downtime is drastically minimized. The team's job delivery and delivery methods are more streamlined and efficient. Next, increased productivity. Kanban boards promote regular communication and active conversation amongst team members, which often results in higher productivity. In addition, the board system is based on the promotion and practice of continuous development. Along with this, its other benefits are improved visibility, increased adaptability, improved team concentration, enhanced team focus, enhanced cooperation, enhanced predictability, and alignment with corporate values. Moving on to our next topic. How to use a Kanban board. When constructing your Kanban board, start with a basic framework, develop it gradually, and convert it into a workflow management system using these 7 stages. First, visualize your workflow using the Kanban board. Utilize the Kanban board to sketch out your whole work process. You should be able to distinguish how work is processed by observing the board. Begin with a basic Kanban board layout and divide it into a few key parts to represent various work phases. Second, identify workflow limitations on the Kanban board. The Kanban board is the ideal tool for visualizing possible process issues. Simple logic says that if a column has more incoming tasks than outgoing ones, work will begin to pile up, and the issue will become clear to the whole team. This may be the result of a temporary problem or a process bottleneck. It's recommended that you outline your process as carefully as possible in order to pinpoint the source of the issue. On a small Kanban board with just one in-progress part and several cards awaiting action, for instance, it will be difficult to determine why work is slowing and how to fix the problem. In contrast, charting your process in great depth with columns for each working step will enable you to see at a glance where improvements may be made. Once a problematic column or bottleneck has been identified, take immediate action to address it and prevent it from recurring. The easiest course of action is to restrict work in progress early in the flow. This will enable the bottleneck to be alleviated by the individuals who own this stage. Redistributing the team's efforts to fulfill the new needs is another approach. Kanban is intended to provide greater flexibility, keeping you in control of all significant choices. Third, use the Kanban board to limit work in progress and focus. By establishing WIP limitations based on your capacity, the Kanban board is a fantastic tool to prevent your staff from multitasking. Either you may set a restriction on the overall number of jobs that can be active simultaneously on your board, or you can set separate limitations for each process step. If you want to enhance the speed at which you give value to your consumers, you should keep each team focused on completing work rather than beginning new projects. Thus, they will stop initiating new projects and focus on completing those currently in progress. Knowing that everyone can see what each individual is doing is a powerful motivator to improve performance constantly. Fourth, use the Kanban dashboard to reduce time spent in pointless meetings. Significantly reducing the amount of time spent on meetings, progress reports, and other unwanted interruptions is a big advantage of using Kanban boards. Use the Kanban board as a dedicated repository for information. It will share data on who is doing what at any given moment. The Kanban board will keep you, and the rest of the team informed on the status of tasks. Thus, you will not need to plan as many meetings to obtain progress reports. In addition, the Kanban board will help you to deal with those lengthy, time-consuming progress report books that are out of date by the time they are delivered to stakeholders. Fifth, display obstacles to work on your Kanban board. The Kanban board enables you to see the obstacles preventing your team from finishing a certain assignment. On a typical physical board, obstacles are often denoted by red magnets or pins if you are using a corkboard. Digital Kanban software includes more sophisticated methods for visualizing bottlenecks, for example, stop signs on blocked cards. When anything prevents your team from completing a job, they may mark it as blocked and begin working on another assignment without exceeding the WIP limit. Sixth, automate your Agile Kanban board's work processes. Automating work processes is an excellent method for developing a mature workflow management system. Frequently, teams must deal with recurring tasks, alert their coworkers of sudden changes, create deadline reminders, and seamlessly transfer work between members. When handled manually, each of these can consume a great deal of time, generate waste, and disrupt the system. Therefore, modern Kanban boards enable the application of automation rules to tasks and the optimization of their flow within the system. Typically, they take the form of if this then that rules, which allow you to execute predefined actions on your Kanban board when another event happens. Thus, you will be able to automate repeated procedures wherever possible, decrease inefficient tasks, and increase the productivity of your workflow management system. Seventh, collect important workflow metrics, and optimize. Modern digital Kanban boards may automatically collect data on the cycle time, lead time, and other important performance metrics of your jobs. This can assist you in making data-driven decisions on any changes to your process and save you a great deal of time that you would have otherwise spent manually gathering measurements. In some Kanban tools, you can also monitor your workflow data and continually improve task and project delivery using numerous charts on your Kanban board. In addition, understanding how to utilize a Kanban board can greatly improve your ability to prioritize activities. By displaying everything in one location, the whole team will always be on the same path. Moving on to our next topic. Scrum versus Kanban. Kanban and Scrum are both frameworks designed to assist teams in adopting the Agile methodology, values, and principles. Consequently, they have several similarities. Both frameworks promote process improvement, teamwork, and the division of tasks into smaller, more manageable parts. However, Kanban and Scrum choose to execute these ideas in very different ways. So, Scrum includes 3 distinct roles, each with predetermined responsibilities. Scrum Master facilitates and educates the team. Their responsibility is to help eliminate bottlenecks and maintain the team's forward momentum. The Product Owner. They are responsible for creating the product's roadmap and ensuring that the customer's demands and desires are accurately translated into functional product features. Scrum Team Members. They do the majority of the project work. They are an independent team responsible for planning, executing, and assessing project sprints and their results. Kanban doesn't define roles as Scrum does. In fact, one of Kanban's 4 guiding principles states that teams must keep their current roles and responsibilities. This idea is based on the idea that teams would accept the framework more readily if they were not required to change job names and descriptions. Next, Scrum is founded on the concept of self-managed teams collaborating to achieve a project. As the client's representative, the product owner may have the last say over whether features or tasks get priority on the product backlog, that is, a list of all the features, tasks, and work to be done on the project. However, the whole team contributes to the selection of tasks for a sprint. Typically, Scrum team members have complete autonomy with regard to sprint job completion. They may choose which tasks to work on and when, so long as everything is completed by the conclusion of the sprint. Kanban supports cooperation and leadership at all levels, but unlike Scrum, it does not embrace the self-managed team. Old team structures sometimes affect how delegation is handled, since Kanban encourages teams to preserve their current responsibilities. Typically, the manager is responsible for assigning task priorities and actively controlling the workflow. They may give certain responsibilities to particular persons or enable them to be completed on a first-come, first-served basis. I would like to conclude the session by saying, the Kanban framework was created to assist in maintaining a stable flow of production while guaranteeing that no team member is overworked or overburdened. It assists project teams in reducing bottlenecks, enhancing efficiency, enhancing quality, and increasing total productivity. Kanban principles encourage beginning with the current activity. However, it is essential that the whole team participate in the deployment of Kanban and the design of the board. First, divide the job into distinct tasks and determine a process that is suited for the whole team. Determine when new cards will be drawn onto the board. Also, try to choose a time or complexity rating that will be the same for all cards. Then, determine the delivery and commitment points. Now, start working. Over time, closely monitor your workflow, and do not be hesitant to make adjustments and changes to the process in order to improve it. With this, we have come to the end of this video. I hope it was helpful. Comment your thoughts in the section below. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the notification bell, never to miss an update from the Invensis Learning channel. Also, if this has spiked your interest and you want to learn more about Scrum and its practices, check out Agile Scrum Master Certification Training by Invensis Learning, which will help you learn how to facilitate, coach, and enable cross-functional and self-managed teams as a Scrum Master. You can also check our other courses, such as Certified Scrum Master, Professional Scrum Master, Safe Scrum Master, and Agile Scrum Foundation. We at Invensis Learning provide interactive instructor-led certification training by trainers with rich domain experience and expertise. We also provide mock tests to make you confident while appearing for the certification exams, access to mock tests and case studies prepared by industry experts, and personalized LMS with lifetime access that contains course resources. Thank you. Have a nice day.